Working as a professional organizer has absolutely changed the way I handle clutter in my own home. When you spend a lot of time in cluttered homes, you see the same patterns, and it's not uncommon for me to come home after work and just start tossing things out in my home that no longer serve me. But there are 3 habits I absolutely changed after getting into this business. They are making peace with letting go of things, how I shop, and how I handle paper clutter. I did a few videos on the rewards and challenges of working as a professional organizer, and you can check those out here. First up, I would say getting used to letting go of stuff. I know the resistance all too well about holding on to things that we no longer need, like I might need it someday, or it was a gift, or it's from my childhood, or it was really expensive, so I have to keep it. I've had those same feelings as well, and they were certainly taught to me growing up in a family of hoarders, but it's so infrequent that I regret getting rid of something that the time I would have to spend on moving things and cleaning things and organizing things, that far outweighs the reasons for keeping anything. And through my experiences as a professional organizer, I have witnessed the downsides of excessive holding on. Cluttered spaces can upend your life and pose actual health and safety risks. I've learned to just keep things moving. I constantly donate things I'm no longer using. If I see a drawer or a closet getting out of control, I set aside time to pull everything out and make a fresh start. Next up is the way I shop and how much I shop. When you organize cluttered homes for a living, you realize that so much of that clutter is from excessive shopping. Not only that, there is this emotional phenomenon that if you spent a lot of money on something, it's harder to let go of it. This happens all the time when I'm working with clients. They will say, I don't really like this thing anymore, this outfit or this decorative item. But since I spent so much money on it, I can't just get rid of it or give it away. I've been in so many of these conversations that it's actually changed the way I shop. My big habit change is I shop more resale shops like thrift stores and consignment shops where home goods and clothing are a fraction of the cost anyway. And I just feel less guilty if I change my mind about something later on. If it's just not right, I can just put it in my donation bag and send it back out into the world. It's probably going to work for someone else, so there's no point in me stashing it away in my closet to never see the light of day. Having seen all the excess in places I've worked, I'm also much more mindful when I do make purchases. I think, do I need this? Do I have something else that fits this purpose? Where will it live in my house? Which is why I don't buy a lot of bulky items. I don't need to figure out where to store 80 extra rolls of toilet paper in my house. I once asked a client who loved to shop and had an extremely cluttered home if she ever thought about where an item would be stored in her home once she brought it home. And I'll admit it was a bit of a trick question because there was not a single bit of unused storage or floor space in her house. And of course, she said she never thought about this when she was out shopping. So this is absolutely something that I keep in mind when shopping. I have to have a space in my home for that new thing to go, or I have to be willing to part with other things to make space for the new thing. Lastly, I am so diligent about not letting paper clutter get out of control. I've worked in homes where people casually pile or even file papers away for decades and never look at 90% of it. So I'm a little traumatized if I see a stack of paper in my house, outside of my little paper tray in my office, just because I know how quickly it gets out of control. When my mail comes in, I tear through it and recycle and toss as much as I can as fast as I can. I also use Paper Karma to get off mailing list, and I try to get all my bills and statements and everything, digitally over email, so I don't have to deal with that paper. Another way paper piles up is just leaving the house to go to a doctor's appointment or the salon or a trade show or a presentation. People are always handing us information on pieces of paper. So instead, I try to take a photo on my phone or store bits of information in Evernote so that I can absolutely find it later, because it's so much easier to find something in Evernote than to search a big stack of paper. If you're considering a career in professional organizing, please reach out with your questions and be sure to get on my email list to be notified of upcoming workshops, training courses, and Q&A sessions. Check out my recent videos here and here about the rewarding but challenging career of professional organizing. Please subscribe for more videos on decluttering, downsizing, and the business of organizing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.